The Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO. Good afternoon and welcome back to The Drive. I'm Dan Michaels. Paulie Lights is producing our show. Paul Jurgens in the KFGO News Center. We'll get to him in about 19 minutes when we get into the Drive Time News Hour. Comic-Con is coming this weekend. Those of you who are astute comic veterans will have noticed the Batman the Animated Series theme right there that takes us into discussion about Comic-Con. And one of the big players of Comic-Con coming up this weekend, April 17th and 18th at the Ramada Inn on 13th Avenue South in Fargo, is Noel Scotch Anderson, one of our team. Noel is the morning man on Jack FM here in our building. He's been a long time, very talented, award-winning radio announcer, but he is also a very, very gifted artist. And he joins us because he's going to be one of those artists featured at Comic-Con this weekend. Scotch, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Dan. Thank you so much for calling me a big player. You're a big player.
Sure, I'm just big. Whatever I'm playing, I'm a big player. That's just kind of comes with the territory. So, Scotch, we got to talk about you before we get into this. You're such a gifted artist. Anytime there's anything done around this building that's got a little bit of artwork involved in it, you know that Scotch has been involved with doing it. He's just one of those people. So when you were a young boy, did you just have this talent the first time you took pen to paper?
Yeah, I think like any kid, I was encouraged a lot when I was young, and I used to love drawing, and I'd get that adulation from the adults, and then I guess I just enjoyed that so much that I just kept pursuing it. And I always liked drawing the comic book covers and the cartoons I'd see on TV, and just kept doing it. Used to get yelled at in study hall all the time for it. Anderson, don't you got anything better to do than draw those funny pictures? Yep. I guess I didn't. So.
Not paying attention, and look at him now.
Right.
Big successful artist and announcer these days. So, Scotch, Noel, I'm talking to the same guy if I call him two different names.
Please call me sir.
Okay, sir. That'd be three different names. So you've always had this ability, but I don't think people around our community in general are aware as just about how far your work has gone. Noel, you've had your work featured in some major publications, periodicals.
So quite a few years back, I had done some interviews on the radio with a couple of different people who were publishers of some different magazines. So I've done artwork for Cracked magazine and a couple of more adult publications. But I've also done artwork for some movies that you've maybe seen on HBO, and I've self-published some comic books, and I did artwork for the Fargo-Forum for a few years there too.
So what's the number one thing when you want people to see your work? What's the number one thing you'd steer them towards? Well, number two or three things.
Yeah, I guess I'm pretty proud of my comic book that I created called Sinkhole that I've been doing for a few years. I've got my 4th issue of that coming out, which I'll be selling at Comic-Con, and I guess I've had some artwork that's been in a few movies that you can find online, and
drop some names. Drop some names.
There's a movie called Killjoy's Psycho Circus from Full Moon, and there's a couple of scenes in the movie where they just show some incidental comic book art, and I've got that's my art, and I've done. I hate to brag, Dan.
Come on, we want to know.
I did a comic book called Urban Dinosaurs for a friend who did a T-shirt line, and you can find those online.
But I tell you what, Noel is very, very gifted. Your stuff I've got a few pieces of Noel's, and I cherish having them. And you notice I've never brought them back, Noel.
No, you have not.
I'm not going to either because I'm going to keep them. They're collector's items. Noel is he's extremely accomplished. He's very, very good. And you're one of the featured guests now this weekend at Comic-Con. What are you going to be doing?
Well, yeah, so you'll not only be able to find and purchase my artwork there, but you're going to be able to find artwork from, there's a national artist there named Jamie Coker, who is quite good, and he has done, let's see, I'm trying to find my little notes here. He's done artwork for Courage the Cowardly Dog and Adult Swim's Rick and Morty.
Oh.
My friends Brad Thingvold and Joel Moan, who are local artists that both have some pretty impressive credentials as well. They're going to be out there. And this is really exciting because this is like the first in-person convention to be held in the area since COVID restrictions were lifted. I mean, we've blown through ValleyCon last year, and we didn't get to have that. So now finally we get to have our little day in the sun once again. And if you've never been to a Comic-Con, it is so much fun, and it's good for all ages. It's family friendly during the daytime, extra fun at night. There's a little bit of kind of a adults. They have different party rooms there and stuff, and just so many different things to do while you're there at the Ramada.
Well, let's walk through some of those things. So Noel going to be one of the featured artists. Where will people be able to find you when they come over on Saturday and Sunday?
Well, usually when you go in, all of the artists are out in the hallway. So you can walk down, and usually we have our artwork out for display, and I'll have a bunch of my comic books and T-shirts and stuff that you can purchase. And then a lot of us artists who will participate in panels, so you get to find out about different aspects of comics, like how you can get into the comic world and things about collecting comics and that sorts of stuff. And then they also have people that are selling merchandise. There's a big merchandise hall. It's one of the ballrooms there.
Okay.
And anyways, everybody's set up selling different, comic books and swords and just all sorts of goofy things.
So we're being joined by Noel Scotch Anderson, who is one of our team here. He's the morning man on Jack FM here in our station, part of the Midwest Family Group. And he's also a very accomplished artist. He's going to be one of the artists featured at Comic-Con this weekend. So, Noel, one of the things I always wanted to ask you is the temptation to become a graphic artist and work as a graphic artist must have been tremendous for you. How come you never went down that road and have chosen to do what you do and be an announcer instead?
Well, I just love radio so much, and radio was a good way to kind of get my foot into getting comics published. I did do a lot of on-air interviews with comics publishers and people like that, and sure enough, that was a pretty good way to get my foot in the door. But, when something becomes a full-time job, then you kind of lose your inspiration for it. I really enjoy doing it as more of a sideline and being able to focus on just being on the radio.
Okay, I got you. Well, you're so gifted at it. Noel is national or international level. I bet people would not be able to distinguish your work from work of published artists or cartoons if they went and picked up a comic book this afternoon. Noel, they wouldn't be able to distinguish that work from your work. It is so good. So, Noel, as part of Comic-Con this weekend, there's always a little bit of a film festival that goes with this. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Fargo Film Festival 19, which was actually scheduled to coincide with ValleyCon last fall, and we had our friendly neighborhood pandemic come along, so that pushed it back, and they decided that they would just add it to the Comic-Con this year. So that starts on Friday at 5:30 p.m. over at the Fargo Ramada, and it kind of goes throughout the whole weekend. Anytime you are at the Comic-Con, you can duck into the one room and check out a bunch of the different movies. They have kids' cartoons playing on Saturday morning, which is a lot of fun. And, of course, as far as creators go, you're going to be able to meet all of the different comic book creators and stuff that are there at FMCC. So it's just a great time. Demonstrations happening and cosplay, too. Of course, you got all the people that walk around in the costumes, which is a lot of fun.
Well, I hope everybody be able to make it over. It is it all day on Saturday and all day on Sunday? Noel, do you happen to know the hours off the top of your head?
It's I believe it starts at 10 a.m. And give me 1 second here. I think it starts 10 a.m. on Saturday and goes till like 7 p.m. at night, and then again on Sunday it starts at like 10 a.m. and goes till 4 in the afternoon. And of course, Friday you get there early, you can check out the film festival. All
right, and the Oak Levees is part of the Ramada over there now as well, so you can stop in and see Mike and the team over there as well. There's an online auction too going on, Noel. We don't want to miss the chance to talk about that. What's up there? Do you know?
I don't know exactly what items they have, but they always have this great auction, and there's so many cool pop culture items. If you're a collector, you're going to find a lot of things and be able to get them at a good price. And it helps out Stanford's Children's Hospital. This year you can register and bid online in a new format charity auction. I think it's Bidding Owl, but if you go to the ValleyCon website or you check out the Comic-Con page on Facebook, you can find that. Items are posted now, and more are going to be posted throughout the event. And I think that ends at 10 p.m. after the adult costume contest on Saturday night. So that's what's also fun. You've got a kids costume contest during the day on Saturday, And then in the evenings, you got the adults, and boy, they come up with some crazy costumes. So you got to come check that out. But it's all going to be safe. I guess they're going with all the COVID protocols, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be safe for everybody. You got to make it out there this weekend.
I hope everybody will come on out and enjoy yourself at Comic-Con going on this weekend. If you want any more information, just go to valleycon.com. You can also go to Comic-Con. Let me see here. Valleycon.com is where I went and found all my information out that, and that leads you to other sites depending on what you click on there as well. And you can't miss Noel. Scotch has got the shock of blonde hair, and he's got a big smile on his face. He's a handsome guy. So you're not going to be able to miss him when you go in there. Shake his hand. He's one of the really good ones. He's very talented.
Very affordable. Very affordable. $8 for adults for a day pass on Saturday. And if you want to stop by my booth, you can buy my new comic book.
There you go. Stop by and buy his new comic book. It's a collector's item. Noel, always appreciated very, very much. I interrupted his afternoon nap for him to join us here today. So, Noel, thanks very, very much. And don't miss him tomorrow morning on Jack FM in Fargo. Thanks so much, Noel. I hope it's just a great show.
Thanks, Dan. I got to get back to bed.
All right, get to bed. If he wasn't taking a nap, he was going to bed about now. Boy, you got to get up at the middle of the morning for that thing. KFGO time is 4:52. It's 8 away from the top of the hour. You're listening to The Drive with Dan Michaels on the Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO.
This is News Radio KFGO. Weather Watch.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm KFGO Chief Meteorologist Tom Szymanski. Looks like we'll have a windy night tonight. Areas of snowfall